Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. You're at the spot, the place, where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. How are you today? Are you at your highest and greatest good? Are you looking for joy? We're about to learn about a joyful approach to health with our guest, Kathy Ann Jones. I'm so excited to have her here with us. She has an incredible book right here on my desk. I've already got my little pages marked where I've been going through it. It says, Be Younger Next Month. Really? It's a mindset mastery. It's your health, it's your wellness, it's your circle of influence. It's your smile. Look at her smile. It's worth $1 million. So we're going to talk to her about that and a whole bunch more. How are you today, Kathy?
I am doing awesome. Hello, brains out there.
Well, I'm glad to have you. Tell us a little bit about you and how you show up in the world and how you found yourself in this space.
Well, I like to say my message of health kind of started before I even began a business with it. My background was in the culinary arts. I owned a restaurant, a natural food store, and a catering company. I've catered from the Neville brothers to ex-President Gerald Ford.
Oh, wow.
And I've had fun along the way because food should be joyful, right? But eventually I became a wellness coach about 8 years ago officially. And I also have a bioscience degree. So I always look at what's the science behind the body and the brain, as you say. But over the years, I've had the joy of helping thousands, especially women. That's kind of my specialty is women over 40 and 50. Just feel good in your bodies again. And not through restriction, not through guilt, but through sustainable choices. And that led me to my book, Be Younger Next Month,
Mm.
and the speak method that, being younger should also be joyful and you should feel good about the journey. Don't you agree? I mean, sure,
Well,
you
you
feel
do.
good about your journey.
You do, but and again, you have so many things. Some things that I just kind of, ticked off was about kindness and gratitude. Not just what you consume on your plate, because you are what you eat, but all of those things combined because you've got to feel good, not just to your palate, it's got to feel good to your inside. I was finding myself carb loading. I didn't
Yeah.
really realize it. I wasn't eating. And then when I did eat, I'd have a burger and fries or whatever. 15 minutes later, I'm exhausted. So now what I do instead of even buying into that, when I feel sleepy or whatever, I put on my shoes and I go out and walk. I fight it. So you have to fight against the machine. You got to rage against the machine. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, totally. And that's why in my book, I introduced what I call the speak method, like to speak to yourself every day.
Mm.
And I'm a lover of acronyms. My mom always had this game that we'd play on the road. Like she'd say, what do the letters of the word dog stand for? And
Oh,
we'd have to
wow.
come up with them. So when I wrote the book, I wanted to introduce an easy way for people to cover all aspects of their health. So the S stands for self care. Fill your own cup first. If you don't fill your own cup, you cannot fill anybody else's. And I know, April, you fill a lot of people's cups every day,
Well,
right?
thank you. Thank you. But then also don't be greedy. If it's overflowing, excuse me, put some of that goodness in somebody else's cup, right?
Exactly, exactly. And the P in speak stands for passion,
Mm.
that you want to reconnect with what lights you up. What's your purpose? And that can change throughout your life. I mean, I started in the sciences and I ended up being a chef and a health coach. So, just keep pursuing what makes you happy in your life. And mine's helping other people, especially women, regain their health and their passion. And then the E is my favorite one, and that's eat healthy. And I love that you're doing some of that stuff, April.
Yeah, in all transparency, it's easier than I thought, because what you have to do is, number one, my greatest advice is eat at home.
Yes.
Eat at home.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bad habit of every time I got in the car, I felt like I had to go get something to eat. Or every time I had a meeting, we'd have to meet at a restaurant. No, now I say, let's get a bottle of water and go for a walk at the park. Changing that into a healthy habit. And eating is not as difficult. Changing your eating habit, it's just kind of knowing what to substitute and getting the right amount of protein and the right amount of balance. And that's where so many people don't get it right.
No, and they try to overcomplicate it. It really is simple. And eating healthy should be also very tasty. And in my book, I've got 30 tasty recipes that make healthy eating simple and delicious.
Yes. You were talking about different types of sauces that you can put on something. And again, you're eating asparagus. You're not eating Alfredo sauce. So what you want to do is you want to have a lot of asparagus, but then again have that little sauce on the side so that you could dip. I learned to dip instead of pour. Now I dip. Even with my salad, I'll dip a little bit, and you'd be surprised of how much, or when you pour the salad dressing on the salad, mix it up, brains. Don't just leave it on the top. If you mix it up, then it's all throughout the salad. It's little things like that. My mother lost her sense of taste and smell before she passed away. And it was
Mm.
absolutely horrible because she just kept stuffing her face, trying to regain that taste of maple syrup on her pancakes. So, what I started to do is start to make it more texturous and more colorful. And I learned a lesson for myself. I said, oh, well, let's try to create a rainbow here. Let's try to create some color on the plate. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, most definitely. And excuse me, I talk about, excuse me, replacing rather than restricting. You don't need to restrict yourself. You just need to make replacements. Like, I have a healthy Alfredo sauce recipe. So
Oh,
you can have that flavor of Alfredo without the guilt.
right.
So replacing is important. And like you said, moderation on things like sauces for sure. But then let's talk about the A, because you brought that up just a minute ago. Being active. Forget that word exercise. That can be an 8-letter dirty word for people because people are like, oh, that means going to the gym, picking up weights. Just move, be active, and do something you enjoy. I was just on a call on Saturday. The woman said her new activity after reading my book is dancing. She
Ooh,
puts on her favorite music and she and her husband dance around the living room. And that's a fun exercise.
absolutely. And
And
what's the
then we
K?
need to, oh, go ahead, April.
No, what's the K? I'm excited.
The K was something I thought and thought about and finally went, what brings our lives together? And that is being kind, having a sense of community and being kind to yourself, but being kind to others. And that way we make a connection. Just smiling at somebody and talking to them in the grocery line. I ran into somebody that was with a guy that was a soldier in his military garb the other day on a walk, and I said, "Thank you for your service," and he just went, "Wow, nobody said that to me in a while." It was those few simple words of kindness and just brought a smile to their face and to my face. So in my book, I give you 30 ideas for having doing small acts of kindness every day.
Wow. And being kind to ourselves, because we can be our own worst enemy. Oh, I'm too fat. Oh, I'm not good enough. Or it's based upon what somebody else is thinking. Oh, I don't have enough money. Just being in the present, the fact that you woke up, that was kind of annoying to me. I was doing my walk the other day and I said, "Good morning." Oh, grumpy face. Oh, what's so good about it? And I was like, you're in a beautiful neighborhood, that you're able to walk around, that you're able to walk around, that you probably just had breakfast or coffee or whatever. I said, you might want to start that all over again. Good morning. And he said, good morning. Yeah, you got to get people out of that because they get so embedded in, what's going on in the idiot box and what's going on with all of this other stuff, that they forget that the first person that you want to be kind to is yourself. And then that will just exude from your pores into other people. Now, you've had a very exciting life, though, Ladybug. Um, what was it like to, okay, so you're making dinner for the president. What do you think about when you say the menu? Are you considering his guests that are going to be there, what he likes, uh, what's the easiest to digest? What do you think about when you start to create that menu?
The first thing I think about is the number one ingredient needed in food. And people would say, "Oh, is that protein? Oh, is that carbs? Oh, is that veggies?" I'm like, no, the number one ingredient you put into your food is love. And if you put love into your food when you are making
Yes,
it,
ma'am.
people are going to enjoy it.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's the number one thing. A chef taught me that years and years ago. So I think about what people are going to love, the love that I'm going to put into it, and it always comes out good when you start from that vantage point.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was an incredible cook. Her background was French Canadian,
Oh, wow.
and my why for healthy eating kind of began with her because when I was a freshman in college, she unfortunately passed away from colon cancer when I was 18 years old. That sent me to the library, because that was pre Google, pre AI, to research what are the causes of those diseases. And believe it or not, even back then, it was talked about a dietary component, that we are what we eat. And I've kind of always led with the premise if God made it, eat it. If man made it, eat it in moderation or don't eat it.
Mm-hmm.
God made fruits, vegetable, meat, even pasta. God made whole grain pasta. I'm sorry, April, but God didn't make Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Oh, no. No, he didn't. And again, your food sources. I talk to my nutritionists, my dietary people, my chefs about this. It really concerns me. I'm a world traveler, and as we travel the world and I taste the food, it is a far cry from a lot of things that we're getting here. I was able to just pick up an apple, wipe the dust off of it, and bite it, and the juice just came out. Here, I got to buy it, come home, and wash the wax off of it before I can eat it. But again, and organic. Do you really, um, do you really buy into that as a chef and a nutrition person?
I think, organic can be very confusing for people. It can be very expensive. Um, I do think you have to start somewhere. You got to start getting rid of the over processed, ultra processed foods and eat more whole foods, real food. Start there. And if you are going to choose organic, probably the most important thing to eat organic is your leafy greens because they are fast growing. They go quickly, so they don't have time to release the chemicals. So if
Mm.
you were to choose one food to eat organic, that would be like your lettuce or your spinach or your kale, arugula, eat those. But First, just start with eating whole foods.
Okay. All right. And again, give the definition. Well, you just gave the definition of what a whole food is. What's your take on meat? There's a lot of people that eat meat. I eat meat. I love it, but I pay for it. I go to the butcher shop. I go where it's grass fed. It's expensive. I'll go to the Middle Eastern store to get my lamb. I'll go to my Asian grocer to get my fish. There's certain places that I know that they take uh, extra extra care in selecting what they serve based upon their culture, based upon what they know. What do you think about meat?
I think meat is awesome. It's once again made by God, but doing the free range, the grass fed, the wild seafood is the best choice for
Mm,
sure, most definitely. And they are usually have more concentrated lean proteins in them, so you don't have to eat quite as much.
right, right. Give us some encouragement on how to teach kids how to eat. I had some kids in my car with me the other day. And I was like, oh, we're going to have a picnic. We're going to go to my house. We're going to put the blanket out. I'm going to make us great sandwiches, little finger sandwiches. We're going to, oh, no, Miss April, can we stop by XYZ fast food? And I'm like, that's not what we do. I, I suggested, I said, well, you know what? Let's go to the grocery store together. Let's pick some of the things that you might like. Let's pick some strawberries. Let's pick some grapes, some things that you might eat. How do we encourage kids to get back to eating real food?
Well, it's basically like you said, take them to the grocery store, make it a joyful experience, make it fun. Because if it feels to the kids like it's work, like it's, oh, I'm not going to be able to have, you're going to take this away from me, think of it more going and having fun at the grocery store. And unfortunately, we are creating a world of young people with diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
at very young ages. And people starting on, don't get me off on a tangent, but I want to bring it up on they having to do the GLP-1 shots at a younger and younger age in their 20s. And so I've created what's called the joyful approach to health.
Mm-hmm.
That's for younger people, older people, whatever. And it's also brings in that sense of community because when you've got other people, doing the same things that you're doing and wanting to make those changes, it's a support system for people.
Yeah, I have some girlfriends here that braid my hair, and they invited me to dinner at their house, and they are from Senegal, and we ate family style.
Oh, yes.
Kathy, it was wonderful. I mean, we all sat on a blanket and we all ate with our hands. And it was, we had the naan bread and we had the sauces, we had fresh pomegranate juice. It was just really a sense of community. Like you said, I felt like I hadn't eaten a lot, but I felt full in so many other ways. And as you travel to Europe or whatever, you see people eat these 7, 8 course meals and then they go for gelato. But as you said before, it's it's the movement. You got to move it. You can't just sit on it. Now, if you were an appliance in the kitchen, what appliance would you be?
What would I be?
Yes.
No, you asked me what I appliance I would be.
Yeah. If you were an appliance in the kitchen because you're a culinary expert, what appliance would you choose to be? What do you find most valuable that you'd like to be?
A really good saute pan.
Ooh,
Yes, I like people would say, oh, a mixer, a blender.
they say it all the time.
Yeah, a really good saute pan that you can put good oil in and sear your meat, your fish, your chicken, so it feels like you're having fried when it's really healthy fried. And also, I love my NutriBullet because I can make smoothies, salad dressings, creamy soups, And it's not like $500-600. I've got a Vitamix, but I find it my NutriBullet I use every single day.
Really? Yeah, I used to be a product demonstrator for NutriBullet, and but people they still buy that Vitamix, and that Vitamix, that thing will last you
Yes, I
100
love it.
years. It's absolutely wonderful. It does a lot of things. You said about a good sauce. I mean a good uh, saucepan. Talk to us a little bit about oils because I noticed that in my nutrition as well. They say that the canola oil is poison. And so what I try to do is yes, I pay more for that like I do my meat, but I'll get a good quality olive oil. I'm in the avocado oil now. I'm going to try, I don't know if there's going to be a taste or not, but I'm going to try a grapeseed oil. All of these different oils. What do you think about those?
I think the best oils are the non-seed oils, are the avocado oil, the olive oil, and coconut oil. The avocado oil for more your low sautés, roasting vegetables, marinades. Avocado oil can use that way too. But avocado and coconut oil have a high smoking point. So
Mm.
you can get that sear, that like you're eating fried food. And you can use coconut oil in baking also, like butter.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. That's something that I'm going to try. They are or peanut oil, but people are allergic to peanuts. They have peanut allergies. But I tell you, there's nothing like if you want some fried fish, you put that in some peanut oil, baby. It is really, really good. Cooking your vegetables, overcooking them. What do you think about that? A lot of people say that it draws out the nutrients.
Yes, you want to, not overcook your vegetables. I love low sauteing or roasting them or just very lightly steaming. And I talk a lot about that in my Joyful Approach to Health membership. I do meal planning and how to cook and give lots of suggestions for that and actually host a cooking class every month where
Oh,
we cook
wow.
different things.
Oh, that's wonderful. Do you do that online or do you do it?
We do it on Zoom, yes.
Well, Brains, you need to sign up for that because I'm gonna sign up for that. I want to see how that's going down. You've got a lot of seniors, unfortunately, that are not getting the nutrients that they need for a variety of different reasons. Sometimes they're not able to cook for themselves. Sometimes they can't even afford it. You have a lot of challenges with that right now. What do you say to seniors to really try to help them try to create some sort of balance and a well balanced diet?
Well, it's really not that difficult. You always want to combine a protein with a complex carb. And a complex carb is your veggies, your fruit, your whole grains. And your protein can be chicken or ground turkey or lean ground beef. It doesn't have to be that expensive. And if you can't afford fresh vegetables that day or that week, keep some frozen veggies in your freezer. Fresh is always best, but frozen is second best, and canned is like hardly any nutrients except for canned beans, which are a good source of protein.
Yeah, it's like my father, bless his heart. He tells me to go to the grocery store, but he never has some of the staples that I'd like to see in his diet. So I live in San Diego. He lives in Los Angeles. But you best believe that I am his Meals on Wheels once a month. And I give him a variety of different types of things for him to eat so that it's sustainable. And I do some meal prep for him. I say, okay, this week you may do this, that, and the other, but they're already in mason jars. All you have to do is open it up and eat it. If you have someone that can do some meal prep for you, that is absolutely wonderful, as well as trying to lose weight. Again, we talked a little bit, or you mentioned the GLP-1. I'm not knocking it for anybody who needs it, but it is also the mindset mastery because you can't just depend on the injection. You still have to manage your intake because maybe one day you're going to get off of that. and you don't want it growing back on the back of your neck. It will come back if you don't have the mindset and the discipline and also portion control, right?
Yes, and I've done so much research and worked with quite a few clients that are on the GLP-1. One of them, I'm not even going to mention the brand names, but we all know them. And they're struggling with a lot of side effects, which is very, very common. So I work with clients on how to ease the side effects and also what foods to eat that have natural GLP-1 in them. Because GLP-1 is just a hormone that our body produces naturally when it's fed properly with the right foods, with the right proteins and fats and antioxidants. We produce that hormone naturally, which creates that sense of fullness. That's really all GLP-1 really is. But I'm not a doctor. And so if you have been prescribed one of those for diabetes or whatever, definitely follow your doctor's advice. But I can help you with the foods and how to, with your doctor's care, wean off and go into maintenance and not put it all back on.
Yeah, because again, you have to understand what it is and your why. Why are you doing this? Is it for longevity? Is it because you're trying to go to your 50th high school reunion?
Yes.
Is it for all the right reasons? Is it, you want to impress your spouse, but you can't do anything until you take hold and grapple with your personal why. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, very much so. That's why that P in speak, your passion kind of is your why. And when it comes to weight management, I have coached thousands, especially women, on their, I hate to say weight loss, because what do you do when you lose something? You want to get it back.
Right,
You'd
right.
rather want to manage it. And what I have found is, it's not that difficult. And you do have to have that why. That why can't just be when somebody says, why do you want to be on this program? And they say, I want to lose 40 pounds. I'm like, oh, stop right there.
Right.
Why do you want to lose 40 pounds? Lots of times it comes down to I want to walk my daughter down the aisle and or I want to run in the backyard with my grandkids or I want to, go hiking on this vacation. It's got to be a bigger why.
Well, you know what? It's annoying to me to see my husband just lose weight, and I kind of struggle with it. It's the metabolism of, a lot of people, but men really seem to lose the weight quicker. Is it because they have more muscle mass, or just that's just how it goes?
Well, it is a little bit. I mean, their bodies are different, but as far as metabolism goes, we're all born with the same metabolism, really. It's what we do that slows it down and what our bodies do. And women, we go through hormonal changes. Men do, but women go through even more intense hormonal changes that kind of, especially if we're not eating right and not moving and not hydrating, don't forget hydration,
I know.
then that throws that metabolism we were born with off.
Hmm. I know. And a lot of times people overcompensate on supplements. I know I was doing that. And I was like, I pull back on it. I feel better. I got some electrolytes, doing a little bit more of a protein drink, getting the protein in. And again, managing what I'm doing, looking at my plate before I consume it, eating on a saucer instead of a plate, because a saucer is really the size of the stomach. And then when you go out to restaurants, my daughter taught me something. She says, Mom, it's so expensive now. So they try to overcompensate and give you more on your plate. The first thing that we order is a box to go.
Yes,
And so
most definitely.
we take half of the food and we say, okay, this is going to be dinner or this will be breakfast tomorrow, whatever. and it's more manageable because when you look at all this food and you look at the bill, you feel like you have an obligation to consume it all. Your
Yeah,
eyes
and
in your belly.
then you're talking, because going out to eat is usually a social experience, which it should be, or, having dinner at someone's house, and then all of a sudden, that great big plate, you've eaten the whole thing mindlessly. So, very important when you go out to eat, the first thing you order is a to-go box,
And
and then enjoy.
and then display some table manners, brains. My girlfriend got on me. Yes, I'm self-disclosing all my business. But my girlfriend got on me because we were somewhere and she says, "Could you stop shoveling your food?" And I was so embarrassed. And I was like, "Well, I didn't think that, we have plenty of time." And so I slowed down. And then another one of my friends took me to a mindful eating experience where you took fork and you chewed it almost, it was almost liquefied and swallowed, chewing your food and taking smaller portions and cutting smaller sizes, even like with your salad, cutting it up. It makes it much more easy for the body to digest. Would you agree?
Oh, very much so. And I always coach clients that, lots of people say a prayer before eating, which is
Absolutely.
wonderful. But in that time, also take a deep breath to about the count of four, hold it for about the count of six, and let it out for the count of eight. So if you do like 4, 6, 8 breathing before you start eating, I mean, that's just a few seconds, right?
Right.
You've all of a sudden calmed your body and your mind down where you're not, because lots of times we sit down and we're like, oh, I'm hungry, but when you take that time to calm down, you tend to slow down your eating.
What about drinking your calories? That was another one of my things. It was not alcohol. I have a cocktail every now and then, but really like getting that 16-ounce refill 2 or 3 times. I found that that dispensary that has the lemonade in it would take my hormones and hot flash to the next level. It's something in there. And it was beyond the sugar. I don't know what that powder is that they put in there. It was not good. So now what I do is if I want something, I'll have it. I'll say, that's it for me for today. Everything else is water. And water can be your friend.
It can definitely be your friend, and it can also, when you hydrate your cells, they're plumper, and when you eat, then you're not quite as hungry, and it also helps flush the toxins out of your body, which is very important.
Well, let's ask you some fun questions in conclusion. Um, what sparked you to write the book?
What sparked me to write the book was my years of being in the whole food industry and the coaching and mindset industry, to make it simple for people and not overcomplicate it. Just do those speaking to yourself every day. Even if you start with just one. I had a gal I was coaching the other day. She's in her upper 30s, and when we started, she was so down in the dumps. Now, when I talk to her, she's like a different person,
Mm,
a different person. Yeah.
wow. If you were a flower in the garden, because you are a culinary expert, so I know that there's always fresh flowers around you, what flower would you be?
I would actually be an iris because I think it was my mom grew them, and they just have a magnificent beauty to them. And they come in many colors, many shapes, and many sizes. And I think that, when I work with people, I look at different sizes, different colors, different shapes, but they're all beautiful.
Oh, beautiful. Well, that's a beautiful sentiment. If you could time travel, go back to the past, stay here in the present, project to the future, where would you like to land?
I would like to land back in the 40s and 50s, when we sat down and had a family meal for dinner every night, we went outside and played. We didn't have these things in front of us constantly. We connected with people. We played hopscotch, dodgeball, hide and seek. We got outdoors, and I think we don't do that enough. We walked barefoot. We went swimming in the lake. So I would go back to that time frame.
Yeah, I like it when it was a simpler time. But I require that of my family. If we are going out, the phone is put away. Even here, we had breakfast all together, and the phone rang. My daughter's phone rang, and she looked at me. She knew that was a no-brainer. You don't answer it. You're not available right now. Anybody, me, your dad, and you. So nobody else is really going to be in harm's way. What else could be that important? And the electric magnetic energy that we consume. We never ground ourselves. When's the last time, Brains, you took your shoes off and walked in the grass or walked on the beach or just really grounded yourself? Because that is so important. We take on, the computer, the television, radio, Siri, all of these different things are influences and they're impacting our body. They really
Yeah,
are.
and I always tell people shut off technology at least an hour before bed.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Because if you're going to bed with that computer on, or read a book, but don't read a book on your phone or on your tablet. Do a physical book, or just lay there, breathe, meditate, pray, whatever you want to
Yeah,
call it,
I
but
have
don't
I stayed
technology.
at a girlfriend's house and she couldn't sleep without the television being on. And I was like, wow, that's not a good thing. But
No.
you can't re-raise grown folks. And in conclusion, give us some words of encouragement, Kathy, on just really living that joyful life, speaking it into existence, and just trying to be the best person that we can possibly be to stabilize, if not roll back our life 5 or 10 years.
Well, I really think it comes down to that joyful, that when we don't have enough joy in this world, we attach too much to negativity, and negativity breeds negativity. Positivity breeds positively. I tell people to look in the mirror first thing every morning, like you were saying, when you're kind of have negative thoughts in the morning. I say, do mirror talk every morning. Look in the mirror and say something positive about yourself. Like, my arms are strong so I can hug more people,
Oh,
you
that's
know. So, always be positive to yourself and joyful. And that's really why I created, utilizing the speak method in my book, Be Younger Next Month, the joyful approach to health. And then recently, I've kind of branded myself as the GLP-1 go to gal.
wow.
Not, not to tell people to get on GLP-1, but if they are, offer some solutions for the side effects, offer some solutions to eat right while you're on that journey,
What are
and
some of the
move.
side effects people are experiencing? Can you give us a few?
Nausea, you
Mm.
know, um, almost three-quarters of the people on the GLP-1 shot experience nausea, diarrhea, and then there's more serious things. I had a woman that would go like this and get piles of hair in her hands because eating less of bad foods is not healthy. Eating less of good foods to shed some pounds is okay because you're eating nutrient dense foods. But if you're still eating ultra processed foods and just eating less of them, you're not getting the nutrition you need for your hair, your skin, your digestive
Right,
system.
right.
Yeah.
Well, Brains, take note of that. Go in, work with your doctor, work with someone like Kathy. to help you stabilize, balance, and neutralize what you're doing, but also get your head around it so that you have longevity. I mean, 50 is not it, 60 is not it. People are living to be 100 very
Most
easily now in a lot of places. But again, it's community, it's the quality of food, it's movement, it's joy, it's gratitude. All of these things come together, and you can get a whole bunch of that right here. Be Younger next month. Pick up a copy. It is on Amazon. And Kathy's going to give us information on how to follow her on social media, maybe join one of those cooking classes, and where we can purchase the book, right?
I sure will. Yes, Be Younger Next Month is on Amazon. And then you can also, check out joyfulapproachtohealth.com, joyfulapproachtohealth.com. And you can email me at Kathy, that's Kathy, at joyfulapproachtohealth.com. Follow me also on Instagram. I'm just kind of upping my social media presence at the GLP-1 Go To Gal. I'm giving lots of hints on managing side effects and then revamping joyful approach to health on social media also. That's my not my strong point, but definitely check out Joyful Approach to Health. And any of the listeners today, April, that do join Joyful Approach to Health, it's only $37 a month. And you get
Wow.
over 500 recipes. You get a whole curriculum, a mindset, things, sleep hints, 2 live classes a month. And for your listeners today, April, I am going to give a free 1 hour consult with
Wow.
me to kind of jumpstart their joyful approach to health journey and a free e-copy of my book.
Wow. Brain.
So when you join, just make sure to send me an email and I'll be able to see who joins. But Kathy at Joyful Approach to Health, and I'll make sure we set up that one-on-one consultation to identify and customize the program for you.
Brains. I told you I got my copy right here. I'm not playing. I'm just saying. Because I want to live. I don't call it a diet. I call it a live it.
And that is so true, April, because in closing, what are the first 3 letters of the word diet?
DIE.
Yes. I don't teach diet, I teach lifestyle. We want to put more life in your years because I think it was Thomas Edison, I'm not sure, that said it's not the years in your life, it's the life in your years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was just telling my daughter that now, and we have to count it all joy. We have to count it all joy. So thank you for being here on the Edge. Brains, go in and love, like, share, subscribe. Take Kathy up on her offer. Come on, she's a culinary genius. And also, she's been in the health and wellness, and she's a woman of a particular age, so she understands. She's compassionate. Yeah, I mean, really. Um, Go in, follow her on social media, help raise those numbers, take advantage of the consultation, purchase a copy of the book. All of her information will follow at the end of the interview. We're going to run this over again. If this is not for you, if there's somebody that you know that could be supported by this information, please share it with them. Thank you so much for being here on the Edge, Kathy. You're the best.
All right, thank you, and hello brains again to everyone.
All right now.